Alright, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could do like a updated makeup routine. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a while. I have done like makeup looks, but I don't think I've necessarily done like my whole routine. I thought I'd start from the beginning to the end. Usually on a day-to-day basis, this takes me about 20 minutes. It might take me a little bit longer today because I won't probably talk through what I'm doing. But alas, I've just woken up. I've just done my morning face routine. I have like a skincare routine that I follow. If you're interested in that, let me know. Maybe I will share it. I do it in the mornings and in the evenings. And yeah, so I'm going to start off with this. This is the final part of my morning routine, and that is my face moisturiser. I don't always put this on. Usually I do if I am putting on makeup. I don't. So I usually actually do a makeup a few hours after I wake up, not necessarily straight away. So my skin does feel very okay to be putting makeup on right now. I put my makeup on straight away after doing my morning routine. I feel like it's kind of just like not doing its job. For primer at the moment, I'm kind of just using this, which is my Wonder Glow by Charlotte Tilbury. It's not really necessarily what I would call a primer. I just don't have one currently. So my skin naturally is looking very glowy at the moment. So let's make it even more glowy. This probably contradicts my foundation, but I do find that this does help anyway. Keep my foundation staying. I know some people like to mix this, I guess, with their foundation, but I just put it underneath. Foundation, today I'm going to use my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation in the shade Fair. I change my foundation in what I use pretty much every single day. So I like to just like work with what I've got. I've got, I think, like 11 or 12 foundations, and I like do a rotation around them pretty much nearly every single day. At least every week, I think I work on like 3 or 4 every week. So yeah, I've got a dollop on my hand, and this is something that I've only started recently doing. I don't quite know why I do it, but I do this. I literally just pat it onto my cheeks like this. I don't know if it's just like fun to see it like blend in, but I feel like it gives me more coverage than if I just dip my brush, my sponge into the foundation on here. I feel like not all of it actually goes onto my skin. I feel like a lot of it just ends up being taken up by the sponge. So this is what I do. This is relatively new. Like I think I started doing this maybe like a month or 2 ago, and I just can't stop doing it. So I do have some still on my hand, but we're going to first blend out this bit here. I can't believe I used to use brushes only for my foundation. Like I have fully converted to using sponges for my foundation. I started doing that maybe 2 years ago, and I've never looked back. I really like this foundation because I think it actually matches me quite well. Foundation for me is always really tricky to get because it can either be, well, it can always be too dark for me. So finding a perfect shade is very difficult. So now I've got this. Now I can dab it on just to add more like coverage on my cheeks, because I feel like my cheeks and my nose are where I feel like I need some more coverage. So I just dab it, the rest of my mixture in. I'm so not used to doing a routine in the quiet. I'm always watching like a video or like a series on Netflix. By the way, I am fully 110% obsessed with the Netflix series Young Royals and Heartstopper. Those 2 series I've probably watched back to back over the last, I want to say, month or 2. Consistently just rewatched them. I think about 5 or 6 times now. I love those shows. I wish I had those shows more when I was like a teenager. I'm so stoked that Young Royals is coming back for another series, and that Heartstopper has got 2 more seasons to come. Super stoked about that. The day I'm filming this, it is Saturday the 21st of May, and yesterday they announced that Heartstopper was going to have 2 more seasons, so super excited. Anyway, that's a little side. This year I'm working on this as part of my project plan, which is a cream blush, and I prefer doing my cream items before I put on my powder. I feel like it's a bit weird putting like my face powders, blushes and bronzers and stuff before I put my cream products on, so I'm doing this next. This is my NARS Orgasm blush. It's so weird. I'm so used to saying that word that I find it, I've kind of got so used to it that I've kind of forgotten the actual meaning to it. It's really bad that they make you say these words on a regular basis and you don't realise how weird it is until you say it out of context and people are like, it's called what now? But anyway, I'm nearly finished this. I'm very excited. Let me just, I look like a doll with my cheeks like this. That just really just suddenly brought me back a memory, a flashback of when I was in primary school, and I think I had to act as a doll in like the nativity play or something. I can't remember, but I was a doll. And I was also an old lady. And I was also a bear. No, a cave girl. And I had to do like cartwheels around the stage. Why did I just suddenly remember that? That's really weird. On to the powder. So the powder I'm working on today is Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. This is probably my favourite one I've got currently. So I've only got 4 powders in my collection currently. So it's quite nice actually having such a small makeup category. Right, I'm just going to brush over my face with this. So next up we're going to do my bronzer, and I'm going to use my Hoola Light, which is this shade at the bottom down here. And yeah, I'm going to use this broken brush which I've had for years because I'm too lazy to replace it. And there we go. So I'm just going to brush it over the top of my head, and I like this. I don't know if it comes across on camera or not, but in person it's like really natural. I think it's quite a light shade obviously, but as I'm quite fair myself, I think it gives me like a really natural kind of like soft bronze. It's not harsh. I just really like it, but I don't know if it comes across on camera or not because the ring light and like the lighting and all that stuff. I don't know if it shows up or not, but I can see it in person. Final step for the face portion, I'm going to use this. This is my Pure Blush Mineral Powder Blush by Maybelline. I said that really weirdly. This is my oldest blush in my collection actually. It's embarrassing to say how old this is. This was the first blush I ever bought, and that was when I was probably like 13, 14. And in context, I'm 30 now. But I have always said that I won't work on an item if it gives me a reaction, if it doesn't feel good, if it's not paying off as much as it used to. This is still good, so I'm still using it. But yeah, I'm just going to cover the blush I already had on my cheeks, just to give it a bit more power, a little bit more oomph, and there we go. Whilst we are at the stage, I'm going to quickly put on this. This is my mintbalm.com lip balm. I'm just going to do that on my lips because it's around about this time where I want to start like moisturising my lips, because the lip product I put on most days is like a matte lip, and I like to kind of like moisturise my lips before I do that to them. But my lips are like permanently dry, So I don't really know if it helps or not, but I try. Next up, we are going to put on my brow. So I'm currently working on like a brow by Benefit. This is like a cream gel brow thingy. This is in the shade 3, if any of you guys are aware. I don't know, I don't even know. This is not my favourite. I do 110% prefer doing powder brow looks, but this is what I'm working on currently. I'm trying to finish it. I do already have like a really good like pad at the bottom of this, so like I'm working on it. But it's taken me forever. So I've owned this for like 3 years, and I've been consistently working on this every single time I want makeup for like the last 2. And it's still not finished yet. So, and yes, I do use the brush that came with the product for some reason. I don't really know why. I do have like better brushes, but I kind of just like follow the pattern of my brows. I have noticed over like the last couple of years, I feel like my brows have got like, my natural brows have got darker. A few years ago, I feel like my brows were less obvious, but I feel like I can actually see like the end of them now. Like my brow, because I'm like naturally a blonde child. When I was a child, my hair was like platinum blonde, and I feel like my brows were like invisible, and they kind of always have been. So they are still kind of like barely there. So I just like to kind of add a brow product on the top just to fill them out a little bit. Not to like change their shape or anything, but just to make them more noticeable. Like saying that, I'm not really too sure how much of a difference it makes, because I do wear glasses every single day, which do kind of cover up the brows, but it's the thought that counts, right? Next, we're going to go on to my eyes. Obviously, they're kind of like the next obvious thing that I'm going to do because they haven't been done yet. I'm going to use this. This is my NYX eyeshadow base. I'm going to just put this onto my eyelid. I do use my finger for this. I know some people might use a brush, but I have just never done that. I always have used a finger for my eye primer, and that's how it shall stay. So you'll see today that I tend to, on a regular basis, use like 10 or 11 eyeshadows. You might as well try and count how many I use today, and yeah, you won't win a prize, but yeah, I do tend to use a lot of eyeshadows because I am working on like several different like planning projects at the moment, obviously. So the only way I can do that is by working on several at once. Okay, so firstly we are going to go in with this. This is my NARS Skin Deep palette. This is my pan palette this year, and I'm going to go in with the shade Undressed. I should probably say that this is going to be like a spoiler for some of my items. I feel like some of them you may be like, whoa, that's how well you got on them. I'm just going to try and like zoom in a little bit so you guys can see my face a little bit easier. Undressed, which is the shade at the end. It's the current shade that I'm working on in here. And I am just going to like pat it onto my eyelid. A lot of people on YouTube tend to do one eye off camera and then do the same thing on the other one. I do them at the same time. So I go through every single step at the same time. It doesn't matter if it looks patchy, by the way, this is just like a base shade. And it will be covered up by other shades very shortly. Next up, we're going to work on my Take Me Back to Brazil palette, and this shade we're working on is the 17th shade, which is actually this pink shade on the 3rd row. This is in my Pan Nose eyeshadows. So also like my other obsession at the moment, guys, is Spaceman by Sam Ryder. So I was away the weekend that Eurovision was on. Actually, the weekend that was a few weeks ago, where I didn't post any videos when I was away because I forgot, or I ran out of time to edit. Anyway, I can't believe Sam came second. I am shooketh. Absolute legend. And hopefully it shows how serious the UK is at this, and that we're not some joke that always gets nil points. But I've had that song in my head the whole flipping week. I have no idea what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just kind of adding the shade all over my lid. I don't really know why. I don't usually do this. I usually do like half the lid. So this is Gingerbread by Too Faced, and we're going to work on Gingerbread, which is actually the shade name as well, which is one up here. This is also in my Pando's eyeshadows. We're going to kind of do like the middle, we're going to do the inner corner with this shade. We're just going to like kind of do like the inner third, I would say. Well, try to anyway. Alright, next we're going to use this palette. This is my Colour Institute palette. This is in my project pan, and we're going to use the shade at the bottom, this brown shade. We're going to do that on the under eyes. Next up we're going to use this. This is my Naked Wild West palette. And I'm going to work on a Rustler. So this is in my 2022. This won't be finished this year, obviously. We're in May. I nearly forgot what month we're in. And this is the shade here. It's the only one that's got any sort of usage in it. Anyway, we're going to use this on the lower lash line as well. Next up, we're going to use this shade up at the top. This is called Taupe. This is in my 22 and 22 as well. And we're going to put this like in the center of my upper lid. So we're going to use the same brush as earlier because that's how I do things. And we're just going to place it kind of like where the brown ended. And like pat it on. So it kind of gives like a nice little halo effect. And do the same with the other ear. I've lost count how many eyeshadows we've used now. Now we're going to use this one. This is my little mini controversy palette, and we're going to use Exposed in the inner corner. And then we're going to work on two eyeshadows from this palette. This is my MUA eyeshadow palette in the shade Poptastic. And we're going to work on Cool Cyan and Electric Purple, which is Cool Cyan is this blue here and Electric Purple is this purple here. And we're going to go over the pink and the outer corners with this shade. I kind of just dipped in, and then I will go over just to add a little bit of like purpleness to it, you know? And with that, we're also going to, at the same time, like blend out the top. So it kind of brings that purple blue across a little bit. And the final eyeshadow that we're going to work on is this shade here. It's called Stunner. This one here. And I'm going to kind of do like an eyeliner sort of vibe with it. We're going to do like an eyeliner vibe. So we're going to use this shade. And like do that, so it kind of looks natural. So next we're going to put on my mascara. I'm currently working on this one, which is O2O Forging Weave Gold Inlay Mascara. I have no idea. I think this was around like, I think I downloaded like there was an ad I think on my Instagram for this, and I decided to buy it. I think that was like a year or two ago. I was going through my Instagram ads and buying things, and I had the intention of making a YouTube video out of it and never did. I think it's because I used the items and kind of forgot that I was meant to be using them for a YouTube video. Nearly there, guys. Next we're going to work on this. This is my highlighter of choice today. This is my MUA Undressed Skin Shimmer Highlighter. This is in my Deca padding. I'm just going to add it there and there. Can you see that sheen? Oh, I love it. A little bit on the top of my nose as well. And finally, we reached lips. And I'm using my Stay Matte Liquid Lip Colour by Rimmel. This is in my Finish 22 and 22 as well. I'm not doing very good with that project, guys. It's nearly June and I've not finished an item. Not finished one single item. Alright, and there we go. That is my face done. Thank you for sitting with me whilst I did this. So there we go, that is my look. This is generally how I do makeup these days. I kind of obviously switch around the eyeshadows on a daily basis actually. I'm always rotating my eyeshadows to work on my different projects and also to work on eyeshadows that aren't in a project. So yeah, I think all of my eyeshadows apart from one, no, actually all of my eyeshadows today are in projects. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it doing this way. Alright, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed my updated, current makeup routine. I feel like it's mainly stayed the same as it has for many years, but I do think I've adopted some changes over the years with the different items I'm using, but in general it's stayed pretty much the same. I'm not someone who likes to break out of my comfort zone, but I think the most out there thing I've done today is wear pink, blue and purple eyeshadow. Alright, there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed and I shall see you guys next time.